Desolate, desolation and ruin. Hearts melt and knees tremble. Anguish is in all loins. All faces grow pale. That's Nahum 2:10. Lately, my social feeds seem to populate with pictures of nuclear war. They're AI images of what a nuclear explosion would look like. I'm sure they happen because I searched about some topic about nuclear war or videos of things like the Tsar Bomba test, which was the largest nuclear test ever conducted in 1961 by the Soviet Union at over 50 megatons. Now, at least daily, I see some video come up or in reels or threads that contains that AI explosion, what it would look like when an American city is leveled. Maybe, too, they're in response to items in the news about eliminating Iran's nuclear weapons program. Who knows, and more to the point, it doesn't really matter. No Tsar Bomba detonated in Nineveh. None was necessary. The armies of Persia and Babylon, accompanied by others, produced enough devastation and desolation on their own. When Nineveh was destroyed, when the invading armies served as God's instruments of judgment on supremely wicked Assyria and its capital, every building was burned and leveled. Every inhabitant was killed or driven out. Every animal slaughtered, and every bit of wealth was taken. The poetic language of today's verse only begins to paint a picture of what the horrific fate of pagans that befell in Nineveh on the day that God unleashed the forces that would destroy. What was left afterwards was uninhabitable. Around 612 BC, after a history of nearly 1,000 years, Nineveh was sacked and God's vengeance unleashed. According to Wikipedia, the city at that time stretched over 7 square kilometers. According to the book of Jonah, it took over 3 days to see it all. When the forces of the Persians and Babylonians and Scythians were done, not a single building remained. Everything was leveled, and as mentioned, all inhabitants were either killed or driven out. It looked like a nuclear war, only it took place 2,600 years ago, long before the nuclear age. The story of the desolation left by Nineveh's conquerors, however, reminds us that man is capable of great inhumanity to other men when he ignores the heart of God. The worst kind of war that we could think of would be, of course, nuclear war, one done with nuclear weapons. But let's be real. After all, in World War II, the Allies destroyed Dresden and Tokyo using only conventional bombs. And in doing so, they leveled and burned both cities to the ground and killed over 125,000 people. If you combine the totals of peoples killed just by the communist regimes of China and the Soviet Union, over 100 million people were murdered, and none with nuclear weapons. And none of those was as part of God's judgment. Perhaps the lesson to learn is that we don't need Tsar Bomba to bring desolation. We need only to turn away from God.